You know, there's a great show on PBS called Roadtrip Nation that travels around the country to meet with successful people from all sorts of professions to find out how they became who they are today. A little later on this hour, you will meet one of their hosts, road tripper Jasmine Johnson. But before we meet her, here's an excerpt from a new documentary about Road Trip Nation called Why Not Us?
Driving down Birmingham, I was thinking about the history behind Birmingham, the civil rights movement.
Birmingham is like the melting pot of the civil rights movement. It's where everything got its attention from. It was from Alabama. And being a history major, going into education and going to teach history, what better way to get my information than from the source, from someone who sat there? Miss Odessa Woolfolk was a civil rights activist, and she actually participated in the movement itself that happened in Alabama.
I was a teacher in 1963 when the civil rights movement in Birmingham reached its crescendo. And several of the students that I taught then went to jail, marched, etc. Now, I'm not all that brave, but everybody doesn't have to be on the front line. So I ended up being a teacher.
You're going to have 50 unsolved bombings. If you talked about voting rights, your house could be bombed. If you were a person that talked about integrating the local swimming pool, your house would be bombed. And Birmingham gets this awful nickname. It's going to go from being the magic city, Birmingham, to Bombingham, the tragic city.
Present day, like when you look across the street to the park and you see all the different monuments and the statues of what is represented as what happened in the civil rights movement, like how does that make you feel knowing that you were there, you were a part of that?
It's spiritual. It's spiritual, and whenever I go through the park and I recollect those individuals and their lives and how important their lives were, if I'm over there, I think about everybody who was a part of that made it possible for you not to have to go through that. I don't think anybody who has been successful has had a pain-free life, because pain is a stimulus. Embarrassment, falling on your face, is a motivator. Mm-hmm. You owe it to yourselves to look deep down inside and tap into doing something for somebody other than yourself.
You like to separate yourself from the past and say, this happened, but whatever. They learned from it, we learned from it, we're just gonna move forward now. But seeing that museum was like, this is real, this happened. They didn't know that I was gonna be here, but yet they fought for me anyway. Because of what they fought for, I've been given this life, and it just makes you feel so blessed.
Why not us? I'm sure many young people are asking themselves that very same question every day.
Our next guest has also been on a journey, which is the basis of a new documentary, Why Not Us, created by Road Trip Nation. Lauren, introduce us to your new friend, Jasmine.
Jasmine Johnson, a road tripper, is with us right now. Jasmine, what's a road tripper?
A road tripper is someone who travels across the country interviewing inspiring leaders, and most times we're sponsored through Road Trip Nation.
What do you do?
We go across the country in an RV, we stay for several weeks, and we interview people who we find inspirational in our fields.
Now, you were actually interviewing successful career professionals who were the first to go to college in their family, and you too are the first to go to college in your family. Notice any similarities in your conversations?
Yes. The one thing that I find common among a lot of first-generation students, especially in our leaders, is that we all thought that we were the only first-generation students, and we were so afraid to share our stories with other people that we had to deal with all these problems on our own. But once we started opening up, we realized that, hey, we are not the only ones going through this.
You want to be a history teacher, and you had the privilege to actually interview a former teacher. Tell us about it.
That was actually really powerful for me because she was a history teacher, which is my first love. And she was also alive during the civil rights movement. And her students actually boycotted going to school to participate in the movement. So to have that primary source right there in front of me, that was amazing.
You interviewed so many professionals. Who inspired you the most?
I would say Howard Schultz. He's the CEO of Starbucks, and he inspired me because I did not expect his story to be the way it was. And he grew up right here in New York City in the projects, and look at him now. And he told us that he had to sell his blood in schools in order to eat. So to have that struggle and realize that, everybody goes through different things, and he's still the CEO of Starbucks today, that's amazing to me.
And you're in the middle of applying right now, right, for a job. This is your platform if anybody's looking for a history teacher,
yes,
right?
South Carolina, I'm here.
I have a feeling that you are going to be employed very, very soon.
Hopefully.
For all of us watching at home, for all of you watching at home, make sure to join the conversation, #AmGrad. Follow American Graduate on Facebook and Twitter, and our website, americangraduate.org.